Good morning. My name is Carl Reddick. I'm a parole and probation officer from Lincoln County over on the beautiful Central Oregon coast. I'd like to welcome you today. We're going to do a class that we're going to call Anger. Some of you might have heard about classes called Anger that they call, what would you say, anger management. Anyone ever been in an anger management class? Doesn't that make you mad? You know? Sitting in there and you have to listen to how you're thinking wrong and they're thinking right, and if you think like them, you stop being so mad, you know? I think now that we've entered the 21st century that we can stop calling it anger management. So let's just do that out of the gate. And let's declare right now that there's nothing wrong with your anger at all. And it's not out of control. That you pull it out of your pocket and you use it for very specific reasons whenever you want to. It's managed very well. The classic example is the man who gets in a giant fight with his wife. He's furious. He threatens her. He slams the door. I don't want to hit you. Gets in the car, squeals out at 100 miles an hour, racing down to the liquor store, and he gets pulled over by the police. And he stops and he slams his fist on the steering wheel, rolls down the window and says, "Is there a problem, officer?" Right? See, he can pull this anger out and use it at home, and he can turn it off himself. He knows what he's doing. So we aren't going to call this anger management anymore, okay? Let's take the pledge. We might call it issues about aggression and control. We might call it issues about domestic violence, but let's not call it anger management.
My anger, my uncontrollable anger, my lack of wisdom about my anger, my misdirected thoughts.
Just can't change me. Just can't change me.
Every time I drink, I think everything I say is right, no matter what, who it is, men, women, children, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I've been in 3 abusive relationships back to back. Didn't even think nothing about it. Went from one to another.
On anger, it's got me in a lot of trouble before in my past life. And it's something that I need to change.
My first marriage, I got married when I was 18. My first husband was every kind of abusive you can think of. For my first year anniversary, I got beat up to where I couldn't even leave my house for like 2 months. His favorite excuse was, if you'd have just done what I told you to do, if you'd have just stayed at home. You know, it was always something that was always my fault.
What's the difference between anger and abuse? There's a good one. How can you abuse someone? What does that mean to this group here? Say that again? Mentally and physically abusing someone. Verbally abusing someone. Have you ever been verbally abused? Can you give me an example of how you felt you were verbally abused?
Just basic, you're stupid over and over again.
Okay. You are dumb. You are worthless. You are no good. You'll never make it. And this message gets pounded in over and over and over. And you felt abused, right? Can we bring the person that was saying those things to you? Would they think that they were abusing you, or they were just telling you the way it is? Just trying to be honest with you. Just trying to help you out. I'll tell you this. Thank you. The only person that can tell you if the abuse is occurring is the person that's receiving it. The person dishing it out doesn't get to say, "I wasn't abusing her." Okay? The person receiving it is the person that'll let you know. Same way with racism. The person receiving it will let you know. The same way with sexism. The person receiving it will let you know. You don't get to say. You have to listen and you have to hear. So there's a difference between an assault and an abuse. And anger. Now, an assault is what? You actually jump on the person, right? You make contact. So when you say we have anger management because I'm assaultive, that's like one thing leads to the other. Maybe there's even a continuum for that. And I like continuums because it helps me understand what we're talking about. And what we're going to talk about again this morning is A, B, C. That our actions are driven by our beliefs, and they have consequences. That's all. I can't make it any simpler than that. in this continuum, you might have, for example, down here, I don't know, probably some fear, some stress, some anger, some rage, and some violence. Okay? Now, fear is down here. My understanding of this subject matter is that fear drives your anger, that everybody that blows up is afraid of something. Okay? Now, some guys out there look pretty good-sized guys out there, and they should be thinking right now, I ain't afraid of nothing. Okay? I'm not. I will fight anybody in the world. I'm telling you, I want you to consider this. Remember, our belief systems, that if you find yourself blowing up and you want to not do that anymore, you have to figure out what you're afraid of. I'm afraid she's going to leave. I'm afraid I'm going to get busted. I'm afraid I'm being singled out. I'm afraid that, my mom will leave me. I'm afraid that the cops are going to hit me. Whatever you're afraid of, there's a fear factor in there, and that's the beginning of our continuum. Stress, there's nothing wrong with stress. I'm stressed right now, and half of you are stressed right now, too. Stress is what got you here in the chairs, okay? Stress is what got me here today, too. Stress is what wakes you up in the morning and gets you going to do your daily chores. So don't say I was stressed out either, because stress can work for you. It's the thing that makes your life work. It's why you don't just lay down and sleep for the rest of your life. Anger.